Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning to you. Dang, look at this. We got a pop overnight. There's the opening bell, and we're going to hit the ground running. I would initially suspect that this move is played out. And man, my drawings are all whacked out this morning. I'm going to have to delete these and kind of start over here. We have quite a ways to go till yesterday's high, so no key levels immediately near. Good morning, Jonathan. Hey, Neil. Hey, Paul. Good morning, Julian. Morning, Tommy. Let's see what a wide trend looks like here. Again, I'm still assuming this is likely played out. We would expect sellers to come in. This wide trend, it's a little too early for that. Although it certainly could end up being the case. But let's wait for some more confirmation. The market just opened up. So let's give it time to settle in. Good morning, Rose. Hey, Michael. Hey, Martin. Hey, Jeff. Ed. Good to see you guys. This secondary channel is looking pretty decent here. I'm only going to keep it if we make a new high from here. Originally keeping this all pretty tight. Oh, sorry, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. We had the contract rollover, that's why all the drawings are jacked up. I'm going to redraw this. NQ's got a bit of a distance before yesterday's high. We'll also mark the low from Friday. So still an inside day so far, but NQ especially. This secondary channel looks pretty dang decent. But on ES, I'm only going to start playing that if we make a new high. Still kind of waiting for the market to settle in, seeing if the sellers take a shot at this. We have a gap up overnight. Not great to trust those. Good morning, Joanne. Hey, Tom. All right, so it does look like we are getting a new high. I am going to be starting to consider playing this wider trend here, with the caveat that sellers at any moment can show up and lay this to waste. Hey, Wayne. So we'll put this on the chart, but we got to be flexible in our mindset, ready to pivot. Because these gaps up are not very trustworthy.
From then I just took the sounds and tried to mold that particular sound along with
And Q made a new high. It's looking to pull back.
nicely with it into a piece.
I like the NQ's price action right now. It's moving pretty decently. We'll see if the 21 holds as support here on this pullback. Crossing our fingers. Interesting, we have a slight divergence. NQ has a couple of candles right here, down candles. Meanwhile, the S&P is making a new high. Still waiting for the markets to sync up here. S&P making a new high, Nasdaq pulling back. Both of them have gapped up over the weekend. Man, NQ's just not following along yet. It's really hard to trust a rally if tech is not joining, so interested to see what happens here. If an NQ starts popping up, that's definitely going to be a good sign. So far, not working. Dang, look at S&P here though. Big pop up. Looks like it's making its way to Friday's high. Nasdaq finally going up a little bit, and it made a new high, but relatively small compared to the S&P. Well, I think the better long is going to be on the S&P here. As long as Nasdaq behaves, we should see continued upward momentum. I'm going to be watching this next pullback very carefully, and if it holds the 21, we're going to get in on this thing. And as we're starting off this new week, make sure you hit that like button. Let's get this week going well. I have the potential for a decent week. However, I will say the one thing that could be a stopping block in the market this week, it's not something you would expect, but it's March Madness. Wall Street famously loves gambling. Institutions famously love gambling, and I've seen it every year. March Madness hits. Traders, big Wall Street traders, are not at their desks. They're off gambling on the games, filling out brackets, all that, and not a lot of volume in the market. So we'll see if that holds true this year, but especially in this news vacuum we got right now with nothing really on the horizon. Oh, actually, you know what? FOMC is this week. That is true. So we do have some decent news this week that I may be able to cut through the sports break that so often happens. But besides the FOMC, market seems to be waiting for some more substantial world news to come out. All right, so we are back at the 21. Here's where we got a drum roll. Let's see if this holds. This could be our entry. All right, we have a pretty decent setup. Pullback right here, one bounce on the EMA, second leg of the pullback. If this turns that into a really good looking signal bar, I think I'm gonna risk it. Although one concerning thing is the Nasdaq has not come back to the 21 yet, so when it pulls back, it will very likely bring ES with it. Interesting, we have a lot of movement, but the market's pretty dang slow. Like this is relatively low volume for the amount of movement we're getting. Does seem like the market's waiting for something. It has the potential to really move today, it just hasn't got it yet. NQ still barely came back to the EMA. I think we have a bigger pullback in store. Patrick, is it rollover week? Yes, it is. All right, S&P second entry long setting up. I don't like it too much because of what the Nasdaq is doing, but I think I will take it anyway. It's got a nice green bar. I'm not going to give it a lot of space, and especially watching NQ. If NQ doesn't participate, then I'm going to get the heck out of here. Nice, look at that. Good little move up. Just looking for the scalp for now. Following the stop up, turning the scalp into a bigger one. Maybe you can get to that high. That'd be pretty cool. Cool. Got out for like 5-6 points right there. Hopefully y'all were able to capitalize on that. Perfect little setup. As I mapped out earlier, we have pullback here, one attempt higher, second leg of the pullback, and then we're just waiting for a good signal bar, which we got right here. Bullish bar going through the EMA, closing above, you'll notice it also cleared the lows of the previous bars. So trapped those sellers in, reversed, boom. That's exactly what happens on an A+ setup. The only concerning thing was just Nasdaq hadn't really pulled back completely, but I think it was worth it because and ES has shown that it is a little bit oblivious to Nasdaq today. It's kind of doing its own thing. If they were moving more in lockstep, it would have been more concerning, but ES is on one today. We'll see if we can get another setup. We are still good to go as far as the trend. We have not broken out of this channel yet. Although this bar is looking like, hey, we might be in for a bigger correction here. So waiting on that second pullback. We have not touched the 21 yet. New high already, but that does make us trust this uptrend more. S&P is on one, man. I'm telling you guys. So we'll just keep waiting for pullbacks and we'll look for more entries. We had a great one already. And shoot, like if you already got that, if you got a good trade there, maybe you're done for the day. Maybe you pack it in. It's not about doing more. It's about waiting for good, clean, profitable moves. Trades that have a positive expectancy over time. That was one of them. Maybe we'll get some more, but maybe you want to enjoy your day. NQ still floundering around here.
Vi siete svegliati? Prima parlavate del senso della nostra vita, del disinteresse dell'arte. Ecco per esempio la musica. La musica è legata ben poco alla realtà. O meglio, anche se è legata, lo è senza ideologie, meccanicamente, come un suono vuoto, senza associazioni. E tuttavia la musica, per un qualche miracolo, penetra l'animo umano. Cosa risuona in noi in risposta al rumore elevato ad armonia? E come si trasforma per noi nella fonte di un immenso piacere.
All right, ES is back. It's back. However, one thing to note here, guys, is that we did not really go too much higher. This thing could be running out of steam. When you start to see growing space in the top of a trend, that's your first indication that we might be looking to roll over. I'm not calling for like a full-out reversal, but this upward momentum might be done for now. Time will tell. We're right at the 21 right now. If it does hold, we can consider getting long just again. Big old bar here. I'm still going to wait for another test at the 21. Too many mixed signals at this point. And this is just a very strange market today. Again, very slow. It's hard to tell whether this is just going to grind up all day or we're in for some volatility. Feels like we're in for some volatility. Like it feels like this thing is going to explode one way or the other. NQ also making a pop up. Super close to yesterday's high. This just does not seem like the kind of price action that's going to break through a key level like that. We're going to need some volume to come in real soon. S&P another high here. Back at the 21 again. And the same problem that I just addressed is still there. Growing space at the top of this trend indicates we may roll over soon. And that is also happening on the Nasdaq. Market is not strong enough to push to the top of that channel. Early indication, sellers may be building positions. However, if we do get another great setup here at the EMA, I will take it, even with the pending doom, if you will. We have one test of the EMA. Here's the pullback. Here's the first move up. Looking for that second leg of the pullback. And again, I will consider a long setup here, even though conditions are a little bit sketch for that. NQ still has another 10-15 points before it gets down to the 21, which I do think is going to happen and is likely going to pull the S&P lower. So I will probably actually skip a second entry long on ES if it sets up. Don't like what Nasdaq is doing here. Oh, this is going to be hard though if this turns into a really nice bullish bar. Dang, look at that bar. A little too big of a risk for me anyway. And given Nasdaq's action, I think we're better off to skip. If NQ is also setting up at this time, I'd be taking it for sure, but it's still elevated, still has not pulled back. So if it does pull back, it's going to pull the S&P down with it. So take it if you want. Those are the cautions. Yeah, see, here we go. Look at that. A bearish candle formed pretty quickly, pretty volatile there. And again, Nasdaq starts pulling back, it is really going to bring the S&P down with it. That's why it's important to read the context. S&P still surviving here. Still surviving here. Bro, this market is dangerous. I'm telling you guys. It just feels like it is going to move really quick, really fast. It's like a coiled spring right now. S&P kind of drifting out of this channel. I would really like to see a larger correction, and that would definitely help us trust this trend more. When you see one side of the market actually make an attempt to do something and have it play out, it can give you a lot more confidence in the original direction. We have not really had any attempts by the sellers all morning. Here's where the market opened, and we have just been steadily grinding higher the whole day. So when you don't really see an attempt by one side to do something, it leaves the market very susceptible to a drop. So if we were to see, let's see the seller step in, they try to get something going and it plays itself out, and then we bounce up, then at this point you can have a high degree of confidence in buying, because the other side tried and it just didn't work out. But when you're just kind of drifting higher with absolutely no test to the other side, makes it hard to bet that it's going to continue to go up when you could have this massive just, even if that flush is ultimately just a correction that plays itself out. You don't want to enter a position right before that's going to happen. It just feels like that is going to happen here at some point. For all of the reasons that I've already mentioned. All right, guys. Well, you've heard my warnings for today. You know how I feel about the market. You're going to have to be patient here on this drift higher. Very hard to trust. But if you do see the sellers make an attempt at this market, like a legitimate attempt, it's either going to turn into a downtrend, which would be great too, or it plays itself out, we bounce back up, and then you can have a high degree of confidence in going long. So that's what I'm waiting for, and I do anticipate it's going to happen. This market feels like it's coiled up, ready to move, so I'm going to be looking for that in the Discord, calling out everything I'm seeing there, calling out the setups. Hope to see you over there. Appreciate you guys hanging out this morning, and I will see you soon. Later.